It's time for GMA3. Historic bomb cyclone blizzard. The Northeast slammed by the powerful storm, rapidly intensifying overnight. 7 states declaring states of emergency. Major cities at a standstill with the whiteout conditions. Dangerous winds whipping at up to 60 miles per hour. More than 10,000 flights canceled. Ginger is leading our coverage in the storm zone. A new tool in the weight loss wars, hoping to make self-delivery of GLP-1s easier. Dr. Sutton breaks it down for us and what to know if you're considering taking one. And welcome back to Paradise. The hit show returns for season 2, and star Sterling K. Brown is one-on-one with George Stephanopoulos.
There is so much going on in this show.
It's time for GMA3.
Hey everybody, happy Monday. I'm Sophie Play.
And I'm Rebecca Jarvis here with Ike Ajachi. We're so glad you can join us. It is very, very snowy outside here in New York City.
Just a little snow out there.
It's a dust.
Just a dusting. All right, listen, coming up on ABC Secret Savings, it's all about wellness. Lori Bergamotto has what you need to feel great with prices starting at less than $10.
And we could all use a little warm-up right now. So best-selling cookbook author Caroline Chambers is here with an easy comfort food recipe that's perfect for this snowy weather we're having in the Northeast.
We can't wait to talk to Caroline. She just had a baby recently as well, so we're excited to chat with her. But we start with that historic blizzard slamming the East Coast. When it's all said and done, it could be one of the worst blizzards to ever hit the region. And we begin our coverage with Ginger. She's been out in the elements all day on the quiet streets of New York, but the wind whips. Ginger, hey.
Yes. Rebecca, that is a very important ingredient. But yes, this is the biggest snowstorm we've seen from Philadelphia to New York City in a decade at least. Closing in on that 1.5 feet here. So lots of snow on top of still some of those chunks that were left from what's been a real winter here in New York City. But it wasn't just the 1.5 feet. There are places from Delaware up to Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, back to New Jersey and Long Island that are over the 2-foot mark. So we're going to still be seeing this pull away, and it's really all about the afternoon and evening. But blizzard is the key word, right? And to make a blizzard, you have to have winds of 35 miles per hour or greater for 3 hours or more. There are several places that reach that. You see those wind gusts, like Montauk Point was at 84 miles per hour, Stony Brook, New York, 74 mile per hour wind gusts, and Atlantic City had a gust at 60, JFK 62. You know, so many flights canceled in the 10,000 plus range, and probably a good idea because they would not have been operating, nowhere close. Now, through the afternoon, we're going into the evening. It's really about Eastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts still getting some of this snow and the wind. You could still see winds gust up to 60 miles per hour. Concern is for trees, and power outages will keep climbing as we see this storm finally pull away by tonight, Rebecca.
Yeah, and Ginger, I'm watching you and your tablet there. Just in a matter of seconds, it is covered in snow. What's next here?
That's the thing with this storm. You know, we had 1 to even 3 inch per hour snowfall rates, but we're going to have more snow in the forecast, unfortunately or fortunately, but the good news is it's not nearly as heavy as this storm. It comes in Tuesday into Wednesday as the first clipper, so that's not going to leave behind much more than a trace to an inch closer to the coast that just got slammed with this one. A little bit more when you go back off to western New York. However, it's Thursday into Friday, that storm that we're watching really closely, especially for that rain-snow line that could produce more as we end this week.
All right. Rebecca. Ginger, thank you so much, and please stay warm.
And draw a little smiley face on your tablet.
There you go. All right, the storm, it's causing travel chaos on the roads and in the skies. Transportation correspondent Gio Benitez is at Kennedy Airport in New York. Gio, oh my gosh, it's looking crazy out there.
It is absolutely nuts out here, Ike. This is just a total whiteout. I mean, quite frankly, you probably can't see a whole lot because I can't see a whole lot. This is the tarmac here, and there's no plane taking off. There's no plane landing here. And that's the story across the Northeast because we have these airports that are effectively pretty closed because there's just nothing happening. We have more than 10,000 flights canceled. That's between yesterday and tomorrow. More than 5,000 canceled just today. More than 1,000 canceled just tomorrow. And that's because it's going to take some time to get these planes back in place. And it's going to affect people all across this country, not just in the Northeast. So what are the airports that are the biggest hit? Basically every single airport here in the New York area, along with Boston, Philly, and DC. Those are the hardest hits. You're talking about flights that are pretty much entirely canceled all day long. But then you also have other airports, right? Like Orlando, Atlanta, Chicago. Those airports are obviously not seeing blizzard conditions, but they are being affected as well because, again, these planes are not in place, Ike.
Gio, there was a lot of confusion over the weekend on TSA PreCheck and global entry. What was that about?
Yeah, a lot of back and forth on this. Here's the bottom line. TSA PreCheck is not suspended. That is still good. If you're going through security, that's going to be okay. But global entry, we're told, is suspended at all airports. And that's something that DHS is saying is because of the government shutdown that we were looking at. So PreCheck, TSA PreCheck, still available. Global entry, not so much. Sophie?
Yeah, some good information there for travelers. Gio, thank you. We turn now to more fallout from the Epstein files and growing calls for former Prince Andrew to be dropped from the line of royal succession. Chief international correspondent James Longman is in London with more. Hi, James.
Hi, Sophie. Well, the embarrassment for Andrew just keeps coming, and now there are new allegations surrounding his time as trade envoy for the UK. Civil servants at the Department for Trade have told the BBC that Andrew tried to file expenses for massage services, something they say they tried to refuse at the time, but were overruled by senior staff. And there are now growing calls for an inquiry into how he got the job in the first place, given he seems to have been in communication with Jeffrey Epstein throughout his tenure. The latest Epstein files release include emails which seem to show Andrew forwarding government reports to the convicted sex offender, allegations which seem to have triggered his arrest last week. His former home, Royal Lodge, is being searched for a fifth time today as the royal family tries to get on with business as usual. But no member of the royal family can go out in public without questions being shouted at them. And last night at the BAFTAs, it was the turn of Prince William and his wife, Kate. And when William was asked what he made of one of the winning movies, he admitted he hadn't seen it because, quote, he was not in a calm state. Sophie.
And James, Andrew could be removed from the line of succession. How does that work?
Yeah, so Andrew may have had all his titles and privileges removed by the king, but taking him out of the line of succession to the throne, well, that needs a change in the law. The government initially thought the chances of him becoming king were so small that the change wasn't needed, but opinions are now shifting. So we could see an act of parliament to do that. The last time that happened was during the abdication crisis, and that was in the 1930s. Andrew is right now 8th behind Prince Harry's children. Guys.
A lot to follow there, James. Thank you. Coming up, Barry Manilow is sharing an update on his health and when fans can expect to see him back on stage.
Oh, back now with the best time of the day. It's pop news, and Sophie is here to regale us with this information.
You're busy.
So busy, we've got a lot to jump into. We begin pop news with the road to the Oscars heating up with the BAFTAs last night because the voters often overlap. The BAFTAs are considered a really strong indicator of where Oscar wins might go. So all eyes will be on one battle after another, which took home 6 statues during the awards ceremony yesterday, including Best Director, Best Film, and a Best Supporting Actor for Sean Penn, a career first for him.
Wow.
Ryan Coogler and Sinners also made history with their 3 prizes, Coogler becoming the first black filmmaker in history to win for original screenplay. And on top of all that, Zootopia 2 took home the BAFTA prize for Best Animated Film, while Avatar, Fire and Ash won for special visual effects. We can't wait to see what's in store for Hollywood's Golden Night. The 98th Oscars air Sunday, March 15th at 7 p.m. right here on ABC, and will stream live on Hulu. And GMA, of course, will have all the action from backstage with the stars on our GMA Oscars after party the next morning. But Marty Supreme went in with 11 nominations, totally snubbed. So
wow.
I know, and it was a big year for Timothée Chalamet, so we'll have to see. Now, a tour update from Barry Manilow, the Grammy, Emmy, and Tony winner behind hits like Once Before I Go and Copacabana, postponed his tour dates following cancer surgery after revealing back in December that he was undergoing stage 1 lung cancer treatments. Manilow taking to Instagram to share this new statement with fans, writing that his doctor told him, "Barry, you won't be ready to do a 90-minute show. Your lungs aren't ready yet." Manilow going on to share that his doctor said it was likely he'd be able to get on stage for his late March and April performances in Las Vegas. Manilow apologizing profusely to fans, adding, "When I do come back, I will come back." And in the meantime, he's going to focus on healing. We wish him all the best. We can't wait to see him back on stage. And, you know, so many people posting on Instagram supporting him in his healing journey.
Yeah. That Copacabana. Come on.
Sing it, Ike. Sing it, Ike. And finally, a sweet story from the south side of Chicago. A Girl Scout troop is on a mission to sell enough boxes of cookies this season so they can afford to remain a troop. They're mostly elementary school girls. The group was only founded 5 years ago as a way to expose these young girls to positive role models and give them a safe space to flourish. But their troop is at risk of shutting down. Annual Girl Scout memberships cost $45 per child, so the girls' immediate goal was selling enough boxes to cover those fees. And since their situation hit the news, all 30 girls now have their memberships covered. Their next goal, selling enough boxes to keep the troop active next year. So to support these Girl Scouts, you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to learn more.
That is so I'm so glad people did the right thing and helped them out.
Yeah, and their goal now is to also sell a box in every state. So if you're hungry, you know where to buy them.
I know where a lot of trip and buy one myself. I got you guys covered.
Perfect.
All right, coming up, Lori Bergamotto is here with ABC's Secret Savings that are all about wellness at prices you can feel real good about.
We are back now with ABC Secret Savings with deep discounts on wellness, and GMA lifestyle contributor Lori Bergamotto is here with what you need to enjoy a little luxury or relieve some aches and pains. Lori, thank you for being here. Let's get started.
Okay, so Rebecca, there was a stat that we found about hearing loss in America that was really shocking to me. It's nearly 1 in 8 Americans have hearing loss in both ears. That is staggering, right? So for Serotonin, the company that makes these hearing aids, they've really modernized and made hearing aids affordable and available to everyone because they really historically had been cost prohibitive. And then you also needed like a master's degree in technology to be able to use them. So Serotonin has taken all the guesswork out of it. They have over the ear ones here, hearing aids, and then earbud devices here. So like I said, they've really democratized it for everyone. And these are 20% off plus free shipping.
Excellent.
So it's a really great thing.
And I think like so helpful for families who have dealt with this. I know we have. You take the shame out of it a little bit with products like these.
I mean, nearly 1 out of 8 people. That's a lot.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on to something that I think everyone can relate to.
And I get to take a seat.
And you get to take a seat. This is from Select Soma. These are ergonomic gel
that's
cushions.
Nice.
So these relieve pressure on key areas like the back and hips. And you know, Americans are sitting about 6 hours a day. Can you believe that? That's a lot.
No, that's too much.
It's a lot. So, but when you have this cushioning and a flexible honeycomb structure like this that promotes airflow, it's going to be very easy and relaxing to sit. They also make this knee joint pillow, which is great for spinal alignment when you sleep. And these are 50% off.
Excellent.
So really great deal on those.
This feels really nice.
You're
and you could just
convert.
put that on your chair,
Exactly.
no matter what your chair is.
Like a long flight or something.
Yeah, oh, that's smart.
We are in peak dry skin season, my friend.
Yes, I feel it, definitely.
Yes. So Miracle of Aloe hand and foot repair creams, these are made with 60% ultra aloe plus a 99% pure aloe gel. So that's designed to soothe and cool fast. These are for your hands or for any pressure points or, you know, for your feet, which I think in the winter, everybody's feet could use a little help.
Dry.
40% off of the entire assortment there.
Wonderful.
Okay, you may recognize the double sole socks from Shark Tank.
Yes.
They actually scored a deal with Kendra Scott, who was really impressed with their quality and thoughtfulness of design. Each pair is knit from buttery soft recycled cotton and a nylon blend. They have double cushioning on the bottom, so you get just like that real nice support.
Yep.
And they're breathable up here on the top. Durable, 35% off right now, and they come in so many fun different prints and patterns and colors, and also there's the higher ones, and then there's the ankle socks, so there's really something for everybody.
I like the variety here, and my daughter loves wearing the knee-high socks.
Yeah. Really?
Like it's a Pippi Longstockings thing,
love
so
that.
It works out great.
That's very cool. Well, something that I think is also great that we are going to love is from Epstein. This is you want to invest in your rest, so this is good sleepwear. This is their bamboo from Visco viscose sateen sheets.
Nice.
So moisture wicking, temperature regulating, has that luxe finish. So it feels nice and cool and smooth, but it's not just the sheets. It's also the 100% silk eye mask here. There's a comforter down here. And then feel the loungewear, Rebecca.
Wow,
I know,
this feels
doesn't
great.
it feel so good? This is what I want to just be in forever. And these are up to 40%, excuse me, up to 40% off.
Especially on a day like today.
Exactly.
Lori, you have even more savings to tell us about.
That's right. We want to thank these companies and 24 additional brands from our ABC Secret Savings February special with discounts on must-have items like the original makeup eraser and Grace Enables compression socks. You're going to scan that QR code on your screen or go to abcsecretsavings.com to get all of these awesome deals.
Excellent. Thank you, Lori. That makeup eraser always blows my mind, like how it works.
How do they do it?
How do they do it? Technology. Thank you, Lori. Coming up here, the new tools in the weight loss wars. We have the details and what you should consider if you're thinking about starting on a GLP-1. Our Dr. Darian Sutton is here to break it all down. Stay with us. Welcome back to GMA3. The storm is upon us. And tomorrow on GMA, we're on the road to the Oscars with Tiana Taylor. She's nominated as Best Supporting Actress for one battle after another. She's amazing, and she's here live.
Oh, can't wait for that one. And Leanne Rimes, she's here too. She plays Dixie on 911 Nashville, a recording star and a schemer. She'll tell us what it's like to play a villain and a fan favorite on the hit show.
And lots of laughs on the way Wednesday when Nate Bargatze is here. He has a new game show called The Greatest Average American with trivia and challenges for contestants to guess how average Americans think. Rebecca?
That's going to be so much fun. We're going to go now, though, to Sterling K. Brown, one-on-one with George Stephanopoulos as his thrilling hit show Paradise returns for season 2. Here's their conversation.
The world outside is simply no longer survivable.
Could people have survived?
Sterling K. Brown is back as Secret Service agent Xavier Collins in Paradise.
We don't have much time. Go.
The Hulu thriller about life in an underground bunker community that was built to save humanity after a global climate catastrophe.
What's it like?
It's like before, only creepier.
You left everyone on edge at the end of season 1. So what can we expect?
We're going into the outside world. We're going to see how people who didn't have resources and planning dealt with the catastrophe that hit the globe. I was flying to Atlanta, Georgia. And when my plane went down, I think I was pretty close to the city. Do you know where we are? It sort of brings out the best of humanity and it brings out the worst of humanity.
I promise you, people are built to survive.
And Xavier encounters both as he tries to find his wife, Dr. Terry Rogers Collins. Is she alive? Is she not?
This is Terry Rogers Collins. I'm looking for my husband, Xavier.
Will they be reunited? That's sort of the driving force of season 2.
I love what Sinatra says in season 1.
It's never just about the bunker.
There is a larger thing at play that people won't anticipate and hopefully will give a nice little engine that leads us into season 3.
I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect what I've built.
There is so much going on in this show. It's a thriller, it's political, it's apocalyptic.
Yeah.
It's got everything.
Yeah, it does. I think, first of all, we wanted to make something that was just flat out entertaining. And then everything is going to be a bit of a reflection on the world in which you live in right now. Like things are tenuous, you know what I'm saying, to say the least. And but hopefully with a little bit of distance from it, you can make a comment on it without it seeming like medicine, but still entertaining.
That's the only way you can do it now, right?
Yeah. You don't want to hit people over the head.
Joining the cast this season, Shailene Woodley and Thomas Doherty.
They're fantastic. Like, fantastic. Shailene is not just an incredible actor, she's also a dear, dear friend. And what she does this year on the show is phenomenal.
Out here, the little things will kill you.
As is Thomas.
We're coming in, and we will end this.
And also speaking for the young ladies, yeah, he's single right now, but he probably won't be before the show is over.
You are smiling a lot right now, but does the weight of what you're dealing with this show ever get to you?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think that I love acting, and I love telling stories that sort of entertain people, educate, edify. And so if I focus on the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, I trust that everything else will take care of itself. And that's usually like my philosophy for life. Just do your part and let everything else take care of itself.
You also got to work with your wife this season.
I did. So we've worked together on a few things. She hosts the podcast, the companion podcast for the show, and she's wonderful. She has an episode where she plays a mentor for Jane. And Jane is our Cupid doll cute girl who's also an assassin. And she sort of helps Jane become who she is. It's a great story. It's a great backstory.
They are keeping us on the edge of our seats, and we're very much looking forward to season 2 of Paradise. It premieres today on Hulu and Hulu on Disney+. And coming up here on GMA3, the new tool that could make it easier to take weight loss medication. Stay with us.
Back with the GMA Health Alert, drug maker Eli Lilly is out with a new pen version of their GLP-1 medication, Zepbound, hoping to make self-delivery even easier. Our medical correspondent, Dr. Darian Sutton, is here with more. Hi,
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Happy you're here with us. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so before today, when you bought these medications, specifically for Zepbound, this is an update, by the way, on the direct-to-consumer options. Before today, when you bought Zepbound directly from the manufacturer, you would get a vial in the mail and you would get a syringe. Now, you can imagine that can be incredibly intimidating. Now, starting today, Eli Lilly, the maker of Zepbound, is offering their auto injectors. Now, important to note, some of them have multi-dose options, and this is a weekly injection, and there's 4 doses in these multi-dose options, so each pen effectively can last a month. Again, this is a method and a goal of making these options more user-friendly and less intimidating.
So you'd get that pen. It could have 4 deliveries in it of the medication. How does it compare to other GLP-1s that are on the market right now?
This is the main question many patients are asking. Effectively, now that this is available, you can get the auto pen injector with many of these prominent injectable weight loss medications when we talk about things like Ozempic as well as Zepbound. When you're comparing them based on strictly weight loss, because this is what mainly people ask about first, Zepbound leads the pack in terms of weight loss, nearing about 20% of weight loss after use for over a year. Now, that's significant because just with lifestyle interventions alone, the average person only loses about 5 to 10% of their weight. And so that's a significant change when you're using these medications. Important to note here, there's no rigorous comparable trials yet that compares these medications, and they're all studied in a little bit of a different way. And so that is important to take with caution. And what we talked about during the break, these medications benefit when you use them consistently. So it's about what you can get, what you can tolerate, and of course, what you can afford.
Now, are there any side effects that people need to be aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. And I talk to patients about this in the emergency room. Often when we're seeing patients starting these medications for the first 2 to 4 weeks, we'll notice more rates of diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, a lot of gastrointestinal symptoms. And also important to note, when you're upping your dosage, because often this is a stepwise fashion, you have to be aware that these risks come into play. And also abdominal pain is really important when you have these medications. There are rare but important to understand complications like gallbladder problems, pancreatitis. And I've been in the emergency room with patients working these issues up, and they forget to tell me that they're on these medications. So it's so important to talk to your provider about these medications so that they can better help you understand your risk.
Because they can have an impact in other areas if you're taking them. And just like to follow up on that, we talk about these very frequently, right? It's almost an everyday conversation. But the idea here is that all of these providers are trying to make sure that people are taking the drugs with regularity and staying on the regimen. That's why they're making it easier and easier.
Absolutely. And getting screened is really your first step, because a lot of these medications also have other FDA labeled uses, and you might not realize it, but you might be indicated and have it be able to be covered because you have a problem that you didn't know that you had. So get screened, checking for your risk, talking to your provider, checking with your insurance, and then going to these direct-to-consumer websites because you can often find discounts, especially if you're in need.
All right, Dr. Darian Sutton with the information we need. Thanks a lot.
Of course.
All right, now to celebrating Black History Month. Michael Strahan spoke with a Bronze Star veteran and Black business owner who is making strides by developing the first military-grade combat boot designed specifically for women. Take a look at her determination to launch Equal Footing.
With 26 airborne jumps and 20 years of military service, Natasha Nori Standard is no stranger to taking risks.
I always thought my dad was pretty crazy for jumping out of a perfectly good plane. Now I see somebody else right in front of me who said this, quote, "The most exciting thing I ever did in my life was jumping out of planes."
Yes. They'll open up the doors and you take they call it a 15-inch step out of the plane. It was super exciting and I never have any regrets about doing it.
For this Bronze Star veteran, foot comfort wasn't a luxury, it was a necessity.
But those jumps do take a toll.
Oh,
Physically.
absolutely.
Tell me about that.
My boots that I wore is a men's size 6. I wear a woman's size 7.5. So a couple times after jumping, I realized that my military-grade combat boots did not support my ankles nor my feet.
That's why she developed the first military-grade combat boot designed specifically for women.
So what is the difference between a men's boot and a women's boot?
The sizing differences are extreme. A woman has a shorter foot. The woman's big toe is more shallow. The arch is different. The bone density is different.
You said some of your female peers, they experienced injuries. What were some of their complaints?
So I just talked to a friend that I had known at Fort Bragg, and she said she hasn't run since 2011 because her arches, they have fallen. It hurts to run. And I thought to myself, as a paratrooper, there has to be a better way.
Determined to find that better way, Standard earned a master's degree in fashion and luxury and studied shoe design in Milan after retiring from the military in 2014. In 2019, she launched her own shoe brand, Equal Footing, eventually redesigning the very combat boot that challenged her years earlier.
So now your boots cater to women in the military.
Yes.
And you got a lot of boots going to the military in 2023. You're sending out 15,000 boots a quarter.
A quarter, yes, yes.
And what has the response been from female service members?
Oh, I have 5 or 6 pages of thank yous and reviews and much appreciation just for thinking of them because it's not an afterthought, it's a forethought.
And how do you hope your story inspires others?
If you have something that you want to do, just put your head down and do it. It's not going to be easy, but once you reach your goals, it builds up a callous saying that you can do this. And that's what I say, just get it done.
What a story, right?
Yeah, well said.
Gosh,
and I love the name, Equal Footing.
Yes, exactly.
It's a great name.
Innovation all coming together. You gotta love it. All right, coming up, best-selling cookbook author Caroline Chambers is here with the recipe perfect for this cold weather. It's her life-changing ragu.
We are back with a delicious and easy one-pot dinner recipe, perfect for the snowy, cold weather we're getting in the Northeast right now. Best-selling cookbook author Caroline Chambers is here. Yes. To show us how to make her life-changing ragu. It is so great to see you, Caroline.
It's so good to see you.
We're so happy you made it amidst the storm.
I know.
And you have some big news to share.
I sure do. I have a new cookbook to share with you guys today. We are cooking my life-changing beef ragu from my new cookbook, What to Cook When You Don't Feel Like Cooking, Make It Fast.
That is so perfect.
Yes.
We love it.
Great title.
And I was just saying, I actually literally saved a recipe that you posted on Instagram just the other day.
It makes me so
from
happy.
a one-pot.
Yes.
So let's talk about this one. Sorry.
I was going to say, I love a one-pot meal. We were just talking about my kids. I am a mom of 4, and so cooking quickly and efficiently is the name of my game. So this is a one-pot beef ragu. So basically we're taking chump roast, which is a nice, inexpensive, like fatty, delicious cut of meat. And we're just adding canned tomatoes straight to it, so you can make it all year round. You don't need fresh tomatoes because we're slow cooking this. So diced tomatoes and some tomato sauce. We're slow cooking this, so that is going to bring out so much flavor from those tomatoes and the beef. So just, a nice sprinkle of salt, pep, and then a little bit of vinegar to brighten it up. We throw that into the oven. It's on a burner
in the oven,
here, but in real life, you're going to throw this into the oven, and it's going to disappear for 3 hours. So this is a recipe from my walk away chapter of the book. So this chapter, it's every single recipe takes at least an hour.
Yeah.
So you can actually put it in the oven or on the stove and leave. So go, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but go pick the kids up from school, come back. You can actually
multitask. We're not
do the
gonna get upset with that,
laundry, go
Caroline.
put the baby down for a nap. You actually can do something, get something done.
Now, you do have a shortcut to make the prep a little bit faster.
Yes. So, Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot the onion and the fennel, which add a ton of flavor.
Oh.
So thank you, because my shortcut is that you can skip that entirely and just use marinara sauce. So literally just put your beef, easy, pour marinara sauce on top of it, and it will be like absolutely delicious. So a few hours later, you come back from soccer practice, from, you know, getting your snow gear on the kids for 3 hours, and you take the beef out, shred it, you blend the fennel and the onion into the sauce to make it like totally smooth, and that beef fat is in there, and it like emulsifies. So it's amazing. It makes it really, really just like so flavorful and delicious. Add that shredded beef back into the blended sauce. Okay, so the beef goes back in. You give it a nice stir, and you have this like truly gorgeous, like restaurant-worthy, you know, tomato sauce. So we're gonna toss in the pasta. We've cooked this. So, like, you know, you come home. Yeah. You got 15 minutes. You cook your pasta, then you throw it all over the ground if you can.
And your kids get really excited.
Your dog
right,
racing around.
right.
You just kind of, and then you add a bunch of cheese.
It really is one pot.
It's really one pot. It's like really, I think, anytime I do a one pot recipe on Instagram or anywhere, I get a lot of like, you can't make a good pasta in one pot, and you really, really can.
Guess what, you can.
This is an absolutely delicious dish. So we toss, and then here we have our gorgeous, life-changing.
I gotta get in on this action.
Super crazy.
I'm gonna go for this one, actually.
And you truly, all the
yeah.
recipes in the walk away chapter are exactly like this. You literally throw them in the oven, put them on the stove, and like go do something else.
When it comes to one-pot recipes, like, what do you think people get wrong when they're doing this at home?
Oh, they don't time ingredients right. So like there are certain things that, you know, wouldn't work for 2 hours. Like that beef has to be in there for at least 2 hours to get slow, like to get like really melty and shreddy and delicious.
It's delicious.
If I put like, you know, broccoli in there with it or something, tried to cook that at the same time, it would be totally mush. So you have to kind of pair up the right things. You have to just buy this book, and then you can't screw it up.
It's your Bible.
This is the Bible.
This is delicious, and you can make this more than one kind of way, right?
Yes, you can make this like so many ways. You do not just have to do, it's not just pasta. You could make a lasagna with this sauce. That was actually, this recipe like went kind of viral on Instagram, and my editor at the last minute was like, I feel like we have to add that to the walk away chapter. So we added this recipe at the very last minute because it's so versatile, is a huge part of why it's so popular. Like make a lasagna, put it over polenta. It's do all kinds of things.
Sounds delicious. It sounds like you could also store it pretty well too.
Yes. So a lot of my readers and my, you know, the people who cook my recipes are busy parents or busy young professionals, and they love being able to freeze half of it. So cook this entire sauce, freeze half of it, eat half tonight, and then your future self will be so happy with you in like a month on a snowy day.
A month? I'm like in 10 hours.
10 hours. Pull it back out. I know. People are like, what leftovers? You know, make a double batch. Make a double batch.
Caroline Chambers, as always, we love having you here with us on GMA3, and you can get this amazing recipe on goodmorningamerica.com. And don't forget the book, What to Cook When You Don't Feel Like Cooking. We will be right back.
This is awesome.
So good.
I know, I'm always like, whenever y'all eat it, I'm like, I'm gonna take
Delicious. Delicious.
I bought this whole bowl for myself. Yeah, we're still eating. Thanks for watching.
And stay tuned to your ABC stations all day for more storm updates. We will see you soon. Have a great day.